All right. All right. Here we are. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah. All right, just letting it be known it's a brick morning out here, 28 degrees, um, and it's time to get into another Nick rant. Um, Listen, man, shout out to my boys at All Ball TV. I recently became a fan right before the season started, watching them do their great show, Nick Rehab. Um, um, yeah, you guys doing it well, man. Anytime y'all got Gilbert Arenas reacting to something you do, um, y'all called him out. He reacted to y'all video. Y'all clap back at him. And I was with y'all. I was with y'all all the way. Gil makes some good takes, but he's an idiot sometimes, bro. But last night, props to the Knicks for winning. Again, I wanted to win that game handily. We shouldn't have had as much trouble with Philly, but again, this is the NBA. Teams show up. They had George, they had Maxey, Yabusele. I remember if you saw my video yesterday, you said watch out for a guy like Yabusele. I'd take Yabusele on this Knicks team, right? And I want to get into the Knicks issues. I want to get into the minor controversy we have with Josh Hart coming out twice and mentioning about certain Knicks who need to step up and sacrifice for the team, and need to stop acting like superstars or we've accomplished everything. Listen, man, basketball. I think people should understand this. I think casual fans and everybody else should understand this. Basketball is one of the ultimate team games. I mean, you got 5-on-5. Everybody plays two way at the same time. It's similar to the other net sports like hockey, soccer, field hockey, whatever. But basketball is a 5-on-5, high action. The ball goes both ways. Ball can go both ways. Sometimes a lot of possessions in the game. A lot of things go into winning basketball. A lot of these debates and stuff like that come down to who's scoring the points. And I think this is what gets a lot of fans who talk the sport of basketball, a lot of people who talk the sport of basketball, kind of in a tizzy, in a frenzy. They don't understand that there's games within the game that it almost to the point where people don't realize that the dirty work players, they're the difference between good teams and great teams. People think great teams is just stacking up a bunch of guys who score. 5-on-5, everybody can score, everybody can rebound, everybody can defend, whatever. But part of what makes a winning team a culture, like put it this way, there's a lot of teams that can score a lot of points. But they had no dirty work players. They had no dirty work players. They had the defense. They couldn't stop a cold. Okay. They scored a lot of points, but they had no grit, no hunger, no desire, no physicality, and they always got beat by those teams that could score, do all those extra things. And so when Josh Hart, and again, I preface this because last night, it was a very good conversation about what Josh Hart said, and I know he's looked at as role, and again, he's a role player. The money, even though he's making over $20 million a year, again, this is what $20 million a year now is role player money. $40 million is mid-level star money. $50, $60, $70 million is elite superstar money. And those numbers are going to go up in the coming years because you got the TV contract that's kicking in next year, starting next season. The salary cap is going to take a steep jump. So on the business of basketball side, that's something to look out for. But right now, you got Josh Hart, who is a get it out the mud, hustle guy. I was telling a fake Laker fan friend of mine yesterday that you absolutely owe your real Laker fan friend an apology, because Josh Hart last night just indicates why teams need a Josh Hart, why winning teams have a Josh Hart. Okay, yeah, honestly, I think he's the new Draymond Green. And I know people will think I'm crazy for saying that. Let me tell you something. Draymond Green is just an overrated role player. Very good role player, but he's an overrated role player, because if Draymond Green was in Detroit, you wouldn't be appreciating Draymond. If Draymond Green was in Detroit, you basically call him Isaiah Stewart without the handle and passing. It's pretty much what it is. But since he's with Golden State, he's recognized as one of these future Hall of Famer, all-star, star types. When he's just a guy that's going to do your dirty work. He's a guy that's going to put a little intimidation factor out there. Josh Hart had 17 rebounds last night. 17. Or was it 18? Did he make it up to... Again, those rebounds were pivotal. Those rebounds were pivotal. We don't win last night. We lose an embarrassing game to the Philadelphia 76ers, who are a bad team, without Embiid. That's what happens. All right? So when Josh Hart wants to call out, who's he calling out? Well, I'm thinking it's a combination of OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges. I'm thinking that. Mainly, I would say about 75% OG Anunoby. And, again, I was all for re-signing Anunoby. We had to re-sign OG Anunoby. There was no doubt about it. You don't make that trade. You don't trade away two guys who are going to be pretty good players in this league and let the guy that you traded for, the main part, walk. But with that, again, what great power will come great responsibility. You signed the biggest deal in Knicks history. I'll get into, because again, Jalen Brunson needs to step it up on defense a little bit. Needs to take a few more charges. I know he's getting banged up and stuff, but he needs to step it up on defense. He needs to be a more competent defender, smarter defender. Bridges, same criticism at OG Anunoby. Just a little bit different. I mean, he's playing a little bit better offensively than OG. Defense, the defensive lapses are there, but again, this is the NBA where you can't touch anybody. You can't expect certain players to be lockdown defenders all the time, because it's just certain matchups. It's not gonna be conducive to them. You can say that both of those guys are playing out of position. Again, great power comes great responsibility. They're paying you a lot of money. There's one thing, I don't want to get into too big of a tangent, but yeah, players are paid a lot of money to be asked to do things like get more rebounds or box out or, basic stuff for the past where, you would look at a guy from the 80s and 90s, he didn't make $20 million his whole career. And now a guy that's making $20 million a year can't box out and get 4 or 5 rebounds. I'll get through 3 extra rebounds. So it got contentious on All Ball TV last night. Fabian, and I gotta get where Fabian was coming from, and I would completely agree with All Ball that yes, OG Anunoby has to step in. At the beginning of the season, I asked for two things. I asked for OG Anunoby to get around 16-6. And play 16-6 and play, because this is when we knew that he was going to have to play the 4. See, if Julius Randle was here and we had a center, we would have been going with Jericho Sims at center if we didn't make the Karl Anthony Towns trade. Or we would have been playing a lot of Julius Randle at center. And I have a feeling that Julius Randle will probably be averaging 10 rebounds instead of the 6, 7, 7 or whatever the hell he's averaging with Minnesota. Minnesota. We'll talk about Minnesota at another time and what's going on with them and whether we, want to trade or not. We wanted to trade, but for different reasons. I wanted six rebounds. 6 minimum. See, this is the minimum. And I asked for 24, 10, and 1 block from Karl-Anthony Towns. I didn't care about the assists. He's actually been pretty good with the assists, pretty good with the passing. I wanted it on 48, 40, because, he's a career 40% three-point shooter, and 80% for free throws. Give me that. I don't care what variation. And props to Karl-Anthony Towns. He has far exceeded that. He is averaging about over 20, almost 20. He's averaging over 25 points a game. 14 rebounds, 13.9 rebounds. He gets the block. So the one issue with Karl-Anthony Towns is the silly foul trouble. And part of this all goes into it. The reason why he gets the silly foul trouble, and I'm gonna once we get down to it, I'm gonna suggest a lineup change. I think it should be a lineup change. If things are not going to change, and if it's too much to ask this guy to get a couple more rebounds, well then we should do a lineup change. Somebody should go to the bench. And you know what? It might not be Josh Hart that needs to go to the bench. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you it shouldn't be Josh Hart. Josh Hart is absolute. When you ask for guys to step up, and Josh Hart is actually stepping up, when you ask for guys to sacrifice, and Josh Hart is actually sacrificing, Josh Hart sacrificed by opting into the last year of his last deal that he got with Oakwood. I believe he got it from New Orleans. It went with him to Portland, came over here to New York, and he opted in his last deal so that the Knicks could actually afford to pick up a Dante DiVincenzo. So you got to remember, had he was greedy and said, okay, I want my new deal now. No, what he did is he waited. He opted into the last year of his deal where he made only $12 million, and then as soon as you got to the summer, past free agency mark, then he was able to sign his 4-year deal extension after that. So he opted into the last year of his deal. The OG had a similar situation where he could have opted into the last year of his deal and then signed it early in the season like Josh Hart did, and he could have signed it. No, he had to get his deal in the summer. So we were able to afford Dante DiVincenzo being under that apron so we could get the full mid-level exception, and we gave Dante DiVincenzo a 4-year deal. So his sacrifice was able to bring one of his Villanova brothers home, and he still got his bag at the end of the day. It's the same thing we was at, but OG and Yobi, 5 years, 212. And again, look, can't get mad at you for going for your bag. But since you did that, and we could not afford to re-sign, we could not afford, we would, because we are at a certain apron, we could not afford to re-sign Hartenstein. Well, we're missing rebounding because of Hartenstein. Right now the Knicks are 23rd in the league in rebounds, total rebounds. If I went and looked at the advanced stats about the percentages, we would probably be right around that range as well. We're not. Long story short, what was the strength last year? I thought we were the best rebounding team. When you have a Josh Hart at guard averaging 8 rebounds, getting about damn near at leading the league in rebounds in the playoffs, you become an elite. You can become an elite defensive team. Rebounding team. But we lost. Hartenstein. We traded away Randall. Again, this is all going to the rebound. We have not had Mitch. So those 3 elements right there, and now we have Karl-Anthony Towns, who leads the league in rebounds, but that's not enough by itself. When you get 4.6 at this point, out of your 4, you now become one of the weaker rebounding teams in the league, which the Knicks are, 23rd in rebounds. I want this clear, man. Rebounds are a vital part of defense. A lot of people don't think that. But defense, it's like the success of a offensive play is scoring. That's how you know you ran an offensive play successfully. You scored. Well, when you make a stop, defense, there's two ways to measure the success. You either get the defensive rebound, or you force a turnover. So without one of the two things, you play good defense, you may have missed a shot. But if you don't get the rebound, the team still has the ball, and they get another chance for another shot. So you didn't finish off the play defensively without the rebound. So no matter how good, this is what I think that people don't understand when they judge defense. No matter how good you are at making guys miss, if you can't then slide over and get the rebound, or no one else can do it on the team, then there's not success. It's not good defense. So again, we're asking OG to get 2-3 more rebounds. I believe he should be having, and again, it's like desire. It's like effort. You're 6'7". Your career high was 5.5, but you played a lot of guard back in Toronto. You're now at the 4. And this is what Josh Hart means. You're at the 4. Why are you not getting 6 rebounds? Now, wait a minute. Knicks fans, the guy you said played no defense, the superstar that played no defense, Melo, when he moved over to the 4, Mike Woodson moved him over to the 4, he averaged 8 rebounds for a few years running. For a few years running, Mike, right now, it was pointed out last night on All Ball TV, I believe it was Fleet that made the point, Jason Tatum is getting damn near 9 without Kristaps Porzingis. See, that's what you call sacrifice. If superstars can do it, better players than OG can do it, why can't OG do it? And look, I don't want to get on OG. I love OG. I think he's playing great. I think he's a very, very good player. One of the most underrated, best kept secrets in the league. But we're asking you to get a few more rebounds, brother. That's it. We're asking you to do a little bit more grit, because that's the problem right now, right? The Knicks are more skilled offensively, and you know it would kind of be a trade-off. But they lost grit. And they didn't lose grit because of Karl-Anthony Towns. We lost grit because Karl-Anthony Towns playing pretty gritty. Silly foul trouble aside, he playing pretty gritty. We lost grit because we don't have it at the same position. We don't have it. We lost grit at the 4. Right now, OG is not playing gritty. Bridges is not playing gritty. I need those two guys to step up and say, you know what, yeah, my goal is to get more rebounding. Maybe Tibbs, somebody on the coaching staff, but Josh Hart is saying, and that's the thing, you cannot. It doesn't work. Basketball doesn't work like this. Oh, you're getting all the rebounds. No. We need to get the rebounds we're not getting. You get it? Josh Hart gets the rebounds that a guy his size is not supposed to get. Without Josh Hart, we'd be an embarrassingly bad rebounding team, despite having a guy leading the league in rebounds. See, we need to get the rebounds we're not getting. Getting rebounds is a real big part of the game. It's one of the parts of the games that I love. If you're not getting rebounds, if I'm not, sometimes you got to box out to help a guy get a rebound. Sometimes you got to keep your man off the offensive glass. You got to be quicker. You got to, again, like what was said, what was they said? Rodman broke down. Well, OG Anunoby. Rodman is a 2-time defensive player of the year, right? Maybe somebody needs to give OG Anunoby that tape of Dennis Rodman breaking down rebounding, and so he can add it to his game. Because, we're not asking you to get 14. We're not asking you to get double digits. We're asking you to get 2-3 more rebounds. Josh Hart is getting 9.6 right now. That's above his career high. That's above it. Rebounding is a pleasure, guys. Rebounding, if you want to talk defense on a defensive board, offensive rebounding is a pure hustle stat. it absolutely breaks the team's backs when you get offensive rebound. But that takes a special talent. And that's what we're going to get when Mitch comes back. However many minutes he plays, whatever kind of shape he is, Mitchell Robinson is an elite hunter of the offensive glass. So, I'm going to try to keep this shorter than half an hour. So I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. But if Knicks fans or anybody else has a problem with Josh Hart saying what he said, Josh Hart is absolutely right. Absolutely right. And again, I think there's three guys he's calling out. I can't be Deuce, can't be guys off the bench. And here's my other thing. Here's one of the things I wanted to get into, right? As far as guys off the bench, like I said, Knicks might need a lineup change, and it ain't Josh Hart that need to go to the bench. It might be OG. It might be the $40 million man, the $200 million man, $212 million man to be exact. It might be him. Because like you said, it's all about egos. Well, if it ain't about egos, well, guess what? I would start Precious Achiuwa. That would do a few things. Number one, it would help us on the rebounding, especially in that first unit. It would give a better switch-off ability. Put Towns on the 4, put Towns on the guy who was the least like if you looked at it when Precious was in the game last night, them blocks. I know the goaltending on Maxey. You know, again, that was just intimidation. Sometimes the goaltending is an intimidation factor because they don't goal every goaltend. Sometimes you go up and get that block. You know, I think we need Precious in the starting line. I think we need Precious to start at 5, but he needs to start at 4. I get he's playing the backup 2 now, backup center now, but he can do both. That'll protect Cat from a lot of foul trouble because a lot of those silly fouls is Cat trying to be the rim protector that he ain't. So, I would suggest starting the throw in from the OG and Obi trade and making OG a 6-man from here on out. I think that would do wonders. If you can't get me the rebound, I know Precious will get 8-9 rebounds from the 4. And then you can come off the bench. You'll be the main guy. We're gonna go to a small ball lineup anyway. You'll get your 30. Look, the Phoenix Suns, and they're a horrible team. Phoenix Suns is just not a good team. But they realized that they had too many scorers in that first unit. They completely benched Nurkic, who doesn't give you much defense. He gives you stuff on the boards, you know, and that might be, you know, well, again, I probably stay away from him because he's a bad defender, but he's a great rebounder. You know, when I say make another hole with Hartenstein, I mean he's a little too raw. You know, his defense is not what it needs to be to, you know, but he can rebound. But they brought Bill to the bench. He still gets his 30 minutes. We can give OG 35 minutes off the bench. But let me get Precious in that starter so I can get Precious a consistent 25 minutes. And I got 3 good rebounders. I got 3 good rebounders on the floor. And I got better rim protection on that first unit. And now OG can come in, play with Precious in the second unit, you know, protect Karl-Anthony Towns from his foul trouble. I guarantee you that will work. You take a small step back offensively. Precious is a good finisher just like OG. OG is not exactly your give the rock to and watch good things happen type of play either. Anyway, so I would suggest a lineup change, starting Precious and bringing OG off the bench. If you can't get more boards. You know, because to me, Josh Hart has earned his starting role. I don't think OG has. And I don't think OG's earned his contract right now. You know, relatively in a couple of years, y'all going to see that OG's contract is actually pretty decent contract. It's not as bad as you think. It's not a max contract because the max contract would have been 50. The max is the max contract is what you can pay, the max you can pay a player, which is be 30% of the salary cap. He doesn't make 30%. He doesn't even make 25% of the salary cap. So he signed an under max deal. But yeah, man. I mean, that's one suggestion is starting Precious at the 4. Starting Precious at the 4. You can still have Sims get some minutes in there. I seriously think we need a lineup change. I seriously think because the grit is not what it was. And as long as Precious is healthy, as long as we have nothing wrong with that hamstring, I think Precious has earned a promotion. I really do. And I'm not saying we should demote OG, but again, if the rebounding is an issue, if sacrificing, if putting your ego aside is an issue, as Josh Hart said, then changes got to be made. So yeah, man, this is my thoughts on it, man. The Knicks are at the midway point with 27. Past the midway point with 27-15. We still have the 5th best record in the league. I think we are a good team. Again, you're right. The rebounding issue, the rebounding situation, the defense is what will make us a great team. And I know people will say, well, taking your best defender might make... No, it won't. No, it won't. No, because that's not how it works. I'm still suggesting he gets his minutes. I'm still suggesting he gets 34, 35 minutes a game. What is he playing? He's playing 36 now? I'm still suggesting that. But again, if rebounding is well, if you're too scared you're gonna hurt that hamstring by hustling a little bit, well, listen, it's about the Knicks. It's not about you. It's about the Knicks. The Knicks need rebounding right now. We're 23rd in rebounding. That's unacceptable. We do a lot of things better than we've ever done it, but rebounding, we went from elite rebounding team to one of the worst. And that's part of grit. That's part of effort. So that's my thoughts on it. See you guys later.